Okay, guys, welcome back. Redmissed in the house once again. Okay, we're gonna start off with going to the Twitter to check out those very sexy looking WrestleMania cards. Okay, let's see the new ones. So, as you can see, we have now got John Cena showing up. We also have a Becky Lynch, a Charlotte. AJ has retweeted his new pictures. We're seeing Brock Lesnar. We're also seeing Cesaro. And we're back to the ones that we saw last night. So these are all the brand new sneak peeks that we've kind of seen since the video that I posted last night as a little bonus special thing. So as you can see, the WrestleMania tier is getting very near, guys. They are bringing it full force, giving us a lot of sneak peeks. So I'm assuming later today, right now it is 20 to 12 in the afternoon on Wednesday in the UK. And the PCC, I believe, is claimable for another day. I do think that come about, I think probably about 8 or 9 o'clock tonight, so possibly another 8 or 9 hours, we will see the preview for the first WrestleMania tier event. Excuse me, I've got a bit of a sore throat today. As you can see, the King of the Ring is not doing too bad. Again, since the video yesterday, I haven't really been playing that much. I've kind of come on and topped up energy as and when I've kind of been bothered to. And as you can see, we've kind of had a long streak of losses. But, you know, that's the way it is, guys. I'm kind of having a little bit of a break over the next, like, sort of day or so. Just because of the fact of all the Flash events. Because it was like event, and then the free Flash events. It's kind of taken a lot of energy to play this game over the last sort of week and a half to 2 weeks. And I don't want to sort of burn myself out by playing one game so much that I kind of get bored of it. So yesterday I was playing a lot of new games actually. I've kind of played a couple of games that I've never played before. I played Walking Dead and I also tried out Seven Nights, I think it was called. And there was another one that I played which was like Battle of Kings or something. So there was a few that I tried out, as well as I played a lot of Clash Royale. So I kind of spent a day away from the game, kind of playing other stuff, getting a little bit of energy and stuff like that, you know, and just sort of come on a little bit to top up energy for the King of the Ring, so I didn't sort of drop out too much, so that I can sort of possibly make a comeback if needed, let's say. But other than that, guys, I really hope that everyone's enjoying the new update. I hope you're not wearing yourself out on the game too much, because obviously you don't want to get bored of the game because you're playing it too much. So try and play it in proportion. Try play other games as well to like mix it up a little bit. That way you don't get bored because you're just playing one game all the time. But I hope you're doing really well. If obviously there's been times where I've done nothing but play this one game and I've really enjoyed it. So, you know, do what you enjoy doing, but try not to burn yourself out on a single game, because you don't want to play one game solid for 6 months and then just stop playing it, you know. So just take it in proportions, guys. Put down your comments, put down your thoughts in the comments of who you think the PCC, or is it going to be a ring domination, or is it going to be a ring RTG for the very first WrestleMania card? And who do you think that first WrestleMania card is going to be? I personally would like it to see it be a AJ Styles card. It's not going to be a Divas card because of the fact of in WrestleMania there's too many Divas fighting at WrestleMania this year because they're doing like that 4-way fight thing, I believe. Which obviously they're bringing Emma and Eva Marie up into, or should I say, back into WWE as full-time members. So they're not going to be in NXT anymore. There has also been talk that they're going to be bringing Bayley up into WWE, so I'm looking forward to seeing if they actually do that. Because at the moment, the Diva roster in WWE is very powerful. There is a lot going on right now, and to be honest, it's all because of Triple H. Triple H is really pushing the Divas division like crazy. He started it off in NXT and it exploded, and since then he's kind of been bringing all of the good stars up. Like, he started off with Paige, and then he's brought in Charlotte and Becky Lynch, and unfortunately there was along the road there was that mishap with JoJo and Eva Marie. So obviously now JoJo's gone into the commentating side backstage. Eve Marie went back to training in NXT, but she's coming up. According to looking through the updates and stuff like that of WWE news and bits, she's coming back up into the WWE on a permanent basis. So she's not going to be going back to NXT, she's gonna be staying. So that also is apparently going for Emma as well. So that means that the WWE have got about 10 divas on their roster. Normally, in the past, and I'm going back like 15 years until present day, and even way before that, I'm pretty sure if you go all the way back to sort of when WWE first started, which was like, I think it was 82. I think it was 1982 WWE first started. And then they become the biggest brand in like 95 when Vince bought out WCW and all that malarkey. But even since the very beginning, I believe they've only ever had like 5, 6 tops divas. There's never really been more than sort of 5 or 6. And the only time there's really been more than, I want to say, sort of 4 proper divas is because they've been managers. So like obviously people right now, like Lana, who, yes, she's a WWE diva, but she doesn't wrestle. She's only Rusev's manager. Then she moved on to being Dolph Ziggler's manager. Now she's gone back to being Rusev's manager. But recently, she's started coming out and doing a little bit of wrestling. But her original contract was signed to be a manager, not a wrestler. And her new contract has been signed for her to do both. So we're possibly going to be seeing her doing a lot more wrestling. Obviously, she's going to be in the match in WrestleMania, so we're going to see her wrestle at WrestleMania. But a couple of the others, like such as Summer Rae, for instance. Yes, she's a wrestler, but she does a lot more managing or like ring jockey, as you might call her, because she comes out and she's just basically a cheerleader for the wrestler. She never really does anything. She just stands at the side of the ring trying to look pretty. But now, obviously, with them two added onto the current roster, yes, fair enough, Nikki Bella's still out injured, but it's been rumoured that she is coming back at WrestleMania. I don't know if she will, because obviously the match is already set, and she's not 100% yet. So I can't see her coming back just yet. I honestly don't think she's going to come back until after WrestleMania, personally. But if she does, fantastic. But I can't see it. So obviously at the moment we've got the huge thing with Charlotte, Becky and Sasha Banks, which is obviously 3 divas. Then we've got the other ones that are doing the 4v4, so that's another 8. So we're talking 11 divas that are going to be at WrestleMania. And we've got Nikki Bella, who's out injured. So there's 12 divas on the roster, which is upgraded by at least double the amount that WWE have ever had on their roster. Even when we went through like the huge, like what they term as some of the biggest eras for the divas division, when we had like Trish Stratus, Lita, Tori Wilson, Stacy Keibler, Jacqueline, and that kind of lot. There was only, I think, at max 6 or 7 divas on the roster. And then it was all superstars. But right now, because of all the injuries that the superstars are having, they're really pushing the divas, and everybody is loving it. People are really buying into the divas, and in the last 3 Raw matches, the last 3 Raw shows, the diva match has actually ranked one of the highest rated games or matches in the show. There's only been a couple of shows that have actually outranked the diva matches, and this is why they're really pushing the divas, because they're doing fantastic jobs and they're entertaining everyone so much. Going back into the day, I know if you're a younger audience, then fair enough, you probably won't know. But if you're an older audience, like I would say at least 23 or up, going back into like the early 90s and stuff, when the diva match came on, you would go to the kitchen and go get a drink. You'd quickly go to the toilet or whatever. You'd go get your snacks. And then you'd come back, unless of course you was a fan of whoever the diva was, so if it was like Lita or something. But then 9 times out of 10, if Lita was in the ring, then she'd be accompanying the Hardys to the ring, and she would stand outside the ring and cheer on the Hardys, And then occasionally she would kind of be in the ring with the Hardys, but the diva match wasn't a big thing back then, until I would say the last sort of 6 years the diva match has been getting a bit better, and the last 2 years the divas matches have taken off. And I know a lot of you might not like him, but this is pretty much all Triple H is doing. He is pushing the divas in the company like crazy. If you look at what he's doing behind the scenes and look at what he's doing in NXT, he is in full control of NXT. Vince McMahon obviously owns NXT and owns the company, but he has given Triple H full control of NXT. It is down to him what happens. So all the success that NXT has got is because of Triple H. And to be honest, I kind of think that this is why they're doing the big storyline with Shane McMahon, because Triple H has been talking about taking a back seat in WWE. Because he's in full control of NXT, he is wanting to start taking them on the road and start doing traveling and exhibitions and stuff like that, a lot like WWE does. But if he starts doing that and he starts moving NXT around the country or around the world, he obviously can't do that and be a huge part of the WWE as well. So he's got to take a back seat, and I think this is why they're doing the whole storyline. I honestly believe that this isn't going to be Undertaker's last WrestleMania. But he is going to lose it. I genuinely think they're going to make Shane McMahon beat Undertaker at WrestleMania. The reason being is because Shane is going to come in and take over from Vince McMahon, who's talking about retiring because he's like 78 or something now, Vince McMahon. So he's getting on as well. I believe he's on about moving back as well. So Shane McMahon's going to come in and take over. And by beating Undertaker, he's going to do that. That also frees up Triple H to move over to NXT full time and really keep pushing NXT like he has been. By doing this, we're going to see a benefit because other than TNA, which unfortunately things have been going quite bad for TNA recently, WWE hasn't really got any competition. So they haven't got to worry about anything other than, well, we're WWE and we're the best. Because since the Attitude Era was over, i.e. WCW has gone, ECW has gone, and now it's just WWE. There's been no massive fight for control. So WWE haven't really had to push themselves because no one else is challenging them. And as I say, even though TNA is doing well, and I really like TNA, it's just not doing good enough. Obviously, they've taken some of WWE's big stars like Kurt Angle, but now he's retired. They've got Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy, in the past they've had really big names, like obviously everyone knows they've had Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, Austin Aries, like them three were at the company from ground zero. And look at where they are. Obviously if you watch NXT, then you know that Samoa Joe has left TNA to go to NXT. Austin Aries has left TNA to go to NXT. TNA wouldn't give AJ Styles the money he wanted because of how much publicity he was bringing TNA by the end of his career. They let him go and he went to Japan. He's been in Japan for I think 5 years, and now he's in WWE. So that's 3 of TNA's big rosters that have gone into NXT. TNA done the same thing with Matt Morgan. I don't know if you know who I'm talking about with Matt Morgan, but the Blueprint, look him up. He is an amazing wrestler. And I believe he's gone back into football, American football, just because of the fact of they didn't give him the money. And back in the day, sort of AJ and Matt Morgan were sort of TNA's 2 number ones. They were the big high flyers. They were like The Rock and Bret Hart, or like Stone Cold Steve Austin's, Hollywood Hulk Hogan's. They were the top of the top for TNA. And they've let them go because they weren't prepared to pay the money. And this is what's stopping TNA coming up and challenging WWE. So by letting Triple H go from WWE and go fully over to NXT, it's going to create a competition, because there's a lot of people that prefer watching TNA than WWE. But then such as myself, who really enjoys watching WWE, but I'm not a big fan of TNA, it's kind of the opposite. But I do know a lot of people that don't miss TNA, don't miss NXT at all. You know, they watch it every single show. That's, I believe it's only on the WWE Network at the moment, but they watch every single show. Whereas they miss Raw every week. The only time they really watch it is when it's getting close to a pay-per-view, and they'll kind of catch up and watch the pay-per-view. So the fan base is already there for NXT. If it goes on the road, the fan base is going to become a lot more. And then obviously, as time goes on, instead of like what happened with Paige, Charlotte, Becky, they're not going to be moved up to WWE anymore, because it's kind of looked upon, well, you prove yourself in NXT, when you've proved you're good enough, we'll move you up to WWE. It's not going to be like that. I would say maybe in about 2 or 3 years, because it's going to be a case of, well, yes, WWE is still kind of the next step up, but we have a really strong brand here as well at NXT. So it's kind of it's going to be a case of pick what one you want to watch. Obviously, NXT is never going to be as big as WWE, because they're never going to allow that. They're not going to put themselves out of business, because that's going to be dumb. But, like they did back in the day, Raw v SmackDown, they're going to try to control the whole week. And I guarantee you, if NXT takes over, or continues to build up, they're going to put NXT on in the middle of the week. The reason why they're going to do this is because not only is Raw going to dominate Monday night still, NXT will then dominate, say, Wednesday night, and then SmackDown is going to dominate Thursday nights. Where does that put TNA? I believe at the moment TNA airs on a Wednesday night. They're going to have to go to a Friday night just to be able to change over and not be outbeat by WWE. The problem with going over to a Friday night is obviously TV audiences are down a lot more because of people going out. And on top of that, if you've got fans that have watched Raw, TNA, SmackDown, the likelihood they're going to tune in for TNA as well and watch 4 wrestling shows throughout the week, I don't know. They might do, but I don't think so. Anyway, guys, I've been rambling on for a really long time. This has been a really long video, and I'm very sorry for the amount that I've rambled on. But yeah, that's just a few of my thoughts. So, very sorry for the babbling. Please like, subscribe, and share the video for me. I'd really appreciate that, even though I have kind of rambled on and spoken about a load of jibber jab for like a good 20 minutes or so. But I really hope you're enjoying the videos. Please put your thoughts and opinions down below as well in the comments, and let me know what you're thinking. Don't forget to put down a comment of what you think the first event's going to be, and who you think the first event WrestleMania card's going to be. And I really hope if you're going to be able to upgrade into the WrestleMania tier, I really hope that you get something that you really want. But yeah, thanks very much, guys. I shall see you in the next video. Peace.